Read this in a deep, slow, mysterious male documentary voice. Speak clearly, with dramatic pauses after important questions. The tone should feel like an ancient mystery investigation, serious but not exaggerated. In the desert of Saudi Arabia, there is a stone that looks almost impossible. A massive rock standing alone under the burning sun, split perfectly down the middle. The line is so straight, so clean, and so strange that many people have asked the same question. Was this really made by nature? Or did something else happen here thousands of years ago? This is Naslaa, one of the most mysterious rock formations on Earth. At first, it looks like two separate stones standing side by side. But when you look closer, the mystery begins. The two halves seem to match each other almost perfectly. A narrow gap cuts straight through the center, from top to bottom, as if the stone had been sliced by a giant blade. Or, as some people claim, by a beam of ancient technology. But before we jump to conclusions, Chrono must follow the evidence, because history is full of strange objects. Some are proof of human genius, some are tricks of nature, and some remain trapped between science and mystery. Naslaa stands near Tayma in northwestern Saudi Arabia. This region was not always empty and forgotten. Long ago, it was connected to desert routes, ancient travelers, trade, settlements, and rock carvings. The land around Naslaa holds traces of people who lived, moved, hunted, traded, and left symbols behind. Stone carvings appear across the region. Animals, human figures, mysterious marks. Signs that the desert was never truly silent. And in the middle of this ancient landscape stands one strange stone. Naslaa is made of sandstone. It is tall, heavy, weathered by time, and balanced on two narrow natural bases. That alone would already make it unusual. But the real mystery is the split. The cut appears almost vertical. The two sides are separated by only a small gap, and from certain angles, it looks too perfect to be accidental. This is why the internet is filled with theories. Some say the stone was shaped by erosion. Some say the split came from geological pressure. Some believe an ancient earthquake cracked it open, and others go much further. They ask whether Naslaa could be evidence of a lost technology, a tool, a method, or a knowledge from the ancient world that has vanished from memory. But what does science say? The first explanation is natural erosion. For thousands of years, wind and sand have shaped the desert, grain by grain, layer by layer. The desert does not need to move quickly to change stone. It only needs time. Sand carried by wind can polish surfaces. Temperature changes can weaken rock. Rain, even in dry regions, can enter cracks. Over long periods, these forces can create strange shapes, balanced rocks, thin bases, smooth surfaces, and deep fractures. So one possible explanation is that Naslaa was shaped by nature slowly, over an enormous amount of time. The narrow bases may have been carved by wind erosion. The softer lower parts of the rock may have worn away faster than the harder upper parts. This could explain why the rock appears to stand on two thin supports.
But does it explain the perfect split? That is where the debate begins. Another theory is geological stress. Rocks are not always as solid as they appear. Inside them, invisible pressure can build. The ground can shift. Fault lines can move. Heat and cold can expand and contract stone. Over centuries, tiny cracks can become larger cracks. A fracture may follow a weak line inside the rock, and if that line is straight enough, the final result can look almost artificial. Some researchers suggest that Naslaa may have split naturally along a joint, a natural crack in the sandstone. Over time, erosion may have widened that crack, leaving the clean gap we see today. This explanation is reasonable. It uses known natural processes: wind, sand, pressure, time. But many people still look at the stone and feel unsatisfied, because the cut looks too clean, too balanced, too strange. That is why Naslaa became more than a geological formation. It became a mystery. The human mind is drawn to perfect lines in ancient places. When we see a shape that appears too precise, we immediately ask, who made it? We see intention, design, technology.
a hidden hand behind the stone. And this is where the lost technology theory appears. Some people believe Naslaa may have been cut by ancient tools. Others imagine something even more advanced, a forgotten machine, a lost civilization, even an ancient laser. But there is an important difference between asking a question and proving an answer. A strange shape is not proof of ancient lasers. A clean split is not proof of advanced machines. And mystery alone is not evidence. Chrono must be careful, because the goal is not to force the stone into a fantasy. The goal is to ask why it looks the way it does. If ancient people did interact with the site, what did they see? Did they carve near it? Did they treat it as special? Did they notice the strange split and attach meaning to it? That may be the more powerful question, because Naslaa does not need to be impossible to be fascinating. It already stands in a landscape filled with human history. The carvings around the region remind us that ancient people saw these rocks long before modern cameras did. They may have passed by them, rested near them, marked nearby stones, told stories about the strange formations in the desert. Maybe Naslaa was only a natural wonder, but even natural wonders can become sacred, mysterious, and unforgettable. This is how legends begin. A traveler sees a stone split perfectly in two. A story is told, then retold. A question grows, and thousands of years later, people across the world are still asking what happened. But there is another reason this mystery is so powerful. Naslaa sits at the intersection of two forces, nature and imagination, science and wonder, evidence and possibility. On one side, we have natural explanations, wind erosion, sandstone layers, geological stress, ancient cracks, time. On the other side, we have the human instinct to search for lost knowledge, ancient tools, forgotten techniques, civilizations we may not fully understand. The truth may not be as dramatic as an ancient laser, but it may still be amazing. Because nature itself can create shapes that look impossible. And ancient people lived among those shapes, turning them into memory, meaning, and mystery. The real question is not only who split Naslaa. The deeper question is, why does this stone capture us so strongly? Maybe because it reminds us that the ancient world is not fully explained, even in the age of satellites, cameras, maps, and science. A single stone in the desert can still stop us. It can still make us wonder. It can still make us argue. It can still make us imagine a lost chapter of history. And that is the power of Naslaa. It does not give a clear answer. It gives a perfect question. Was it nature? Was it pressure beneath the earth? Was it shaped by wind, sand, and time? Was it touched by ancient hands? Or is there something about this stone that we still do not fully understand? Chrono stands before the split one final time. The desert is quiet now. The sun begins to fall behind the dunes. The golden light passes through the narrow gap in the rock. For a moment, the split glows like a doorway between what science can explain and what history still keeps hidden. Maybe Naslaa is not proof of lost technology. Maybe it is not proof of ancient machines. Maybe it is simply a natural wonder shaped by forces too slow for humans to notice. But even then, it remains extraordinary. Because some mysteries do not survive because they are impossible. They survive because they make us look closer. They make us question what we think we know. They remind us that the past is full of strange marks, silent stones, and unanswered clues. And Naslaa is one of them. So now the question belongs to you. What do you think split Naslaa? Was it natural erosion? Was it an ancient earthquake? Was it a forgotten stone working technique? Or was it something we still do not understand? Write your theory in the comments below. If this mystery made you think, leave a like. And subscribe to History Unfolded, because Chrono's journey into the ancient world is only beginning. Every stone has a story, every ruin has a secret, and every mystery is waiting to be unfolded.